show that inspired you to go down the yellow brick road with The Secret of Oz? What was said on the show? I mean, I've been aware of that forever, but I didn't...
Just happened to mention that there was some type of symbolism related to the Wizard of Oz, and I'd never heard that before. I couldn't believe how somehow I had missed this, and so I jumped on the web and immediately saw that this was had been the talk in economics academia for about 20 years, and so I said, oh yeah, this is the perfect vehicle, because to me the Money Masters, well, I've always been looking for a way to refilm it, because we did it so long ago. It was even before digital. I mean, it was filmed in high 8, for example, and it's just getting, a little worn out looking, if you ask me. And also, it's too long, and I couldn't figure out, how can we do this in a shorter format so it's a more effective political tool? And that's, I think, what we've done here. We filmed The Secret of Oz in HD.
Well, I mean, The Money Masters is an authoritative classic, and it's deep in history and the whole system. I mean, I can't believe you're kind of knocking your masterpiece there.
Well, I think this is a more effective political tool. I mean, it takes somebody pretty dedicated to sit down for 3 hours and 23 minutes, Now, this you can sit down and spend 100 minutes and get the same story.
Well, it does. I mean, it does look crisper because it's shot in high def, but I mean, I just got to commend all of it because I know how instrumental. But I am the type of guy that will sit down and watch C-SPAN for 3 hours, so I guess I get your point. But you travel all over the world for this. Let's talk about some more of what the film covers.
I want to say something first of all about. I want people to be hopeful here, and I think the good part that's going on right now is these guys always get way over arrogant with their power. I think the whole Obama thing, they've totally overplayed their hand. They're trying to bite off way too much. The American people is way hip to this whole thing, and they're going to crush them. The bad news is, although we might win, we might push out a lot of the bad guys.
The bankers have wrecked the hell out of us.
We might push a lot of them out of the next election. That's still not going to fix it unless we fix the monetary system. Unless we fix the debt problem, we're never going to fix this under the current scheme of things. We have to go at the debt money system and the ability of the banks to create 98% of our money.
And you went to Iceland to show how the same groups are robbing them. Same groups in Greece. Look at Greece. They're telling them you've got to give up your pensions, everything. Germany, Spain, Portugal. And the people don't owe this money. And then on top of it, if you look at the case of Greece, 600-plus islands, their roads, their infrastructure, having to give it to the very private banks that set them up, they should be arresting.
We'll never beat them in those two countries. There's only two countries where we have a shot, and that's the United States and Iceland. I've been in Iceland. The reason we have a shot there is because the people are mad. Iceland is the home of the Vikings. They're very proud of their country, and they are mad right now. You know what I found out once I got in country? That not only were their interest rates indexed to inflation, but their principal on their mortgages is indexed to inflation. And so after they killed the hell out of the Icelandic krona, it doubled and tripled these people's house payments. They're getting foreclosed on, kicked out of their houses.
Yeah, the bankers wrote it just to rob everybody. Describe what you saw on the ground in Iceland.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So there's now a movement that has sprung up, which goes out and surrounds a person's house that's about to be foreclosed on, and they've been very successful. They just an absurdist party just took control of the capital city of Reykjavik, called the Best Party, and we formed a monetary reform working group when we were over in Iceland, or helped to form it, and we're presenting an idea called the Best Bank, based on the Bank of North Dakota, to them next week. We have an excellent chance. I spoke to 3 members of Parliament when I was there. We have an excellent chance of bringing about a right money system in Iceland, because these people are so mad and so fiercely independent. And I urge you, Alex, and everybody in the sound of my voice to support Icelandic products at this point, just to help them to be sure that Americans are going to support them in this effort. And the way you can do that is you can go to the Nordic Store, nordicstore.com. Whole Foods also carries a lot of Icelandic products. Buy Icelandic. Buy Icelandic.
Yeah, because they are literally the Alamo in the fight against the bankers. They are the front line, and they are standing up against this evil when every other country is falling.
Yeah, that's right, and they're one of the smallest economies, and so it's going to be a battle royal. But they're willing to fight it, and America has to support them. And the way we can really support them is to buy their products.
Well, as you said, time is running out for the bankers, but they have already ruined our economy so badly. Briefly describe, because I know you have this at the end of the Money Masters and the similar plan in this one, a very well-researched program to extricate ourselves from this fraudulent money system and get back on a constitutional system that built this nation. Until the bankers took over in 1913, we had almost zero inflation, sometimes deflation, with our currencies. Our savings were strong, and on average a 10.1% yearly growth rate in the economy. We don't have that anymore. So we built our nation without the income tax that came the same year as the Federal Reserve. That's part of the Communist Manifesto these bankers created. That's right, the bankers created communism to sucker everybody back into slavery. Communism is serfdom. Globalism is treason. I mean, let's go over your plan, the plan to rectify things.
Basically, you have to eliminate the ability. Number one, job one is to eliminate the ability of governments to borrow. It should be national debt should be absolutely illegal. And there's a couple of approaches that we can use to do that. You can create debt-free money, issue it from Congress, and issue it into the economy as the new money comes in, and we pay off the national debt with the new money. We gradually raise bank reserve requirements. So at the end, we have no national debt, and we have banks only able to loan out money they actually have. That way, banks no longer can create money, and only the government creates money. We don't want to eliminate commercial banks, just as they've done with the Bank of North Dakota. The State Bank of North Dakota works in cooperation with the local banking community. The local banking community loves them. The State Bank of North Dakota kind of serves as a mini Federal Reserve, completely outside of the federal system. This model can be used in every state in the union and can go a long way towards eliminating every state deficit in this country. I urge everybody to go on the State Bank of North Dakota website, and probably in every state in this nation right now, there are people in your state attempting to bring about in the state legislature the State Bank of North Dakota concept. Find them. If you can't find them, start your own group. That's the thing that
but let's look at the other side of this. Because of industrialization, because of technology, we could all be living like literal kings. And when you read what Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, the UN, Club of Rome, they all finance it. They say, we want carbon tax to shut down the industrialized society. They know that humanity tends to be wealthy now, and then that makes us not dependent on them and the government the banks control. And so they actively admit they've created a black hole monetary system that makes us poor, and they've made this type of austerity a beautiful thing, but not for them, for us. So they've dolled up their neo-serfdom and feudalism as something beautiful and good. So if we don't stop them, their goal is to make us debt slaves. I mean, these are premeditated, wicked people. Can you speak to your research along that line?
Oh, their goal is to return us to a state of serfdom. I mean, and that is the key fight through all the history of humanity, is whether or not humanity will be able to escape serfdom. And that's why government is such a precious gift, because it is the only thing that stands between us and serfdom. They want to eliminate that. That's why they love to corrupt government and make government look bad, and that's why Congress has such low ratings. And if we just eliminate...
And they say privatize it, but that's another form of corporate governance. See, we only see enemies as nations like Russia or China, but really it's a corporate takeover. That's the treason. I am for small government, but I'm for our republic that then guards us because we are the government and guards our freedom.
Centralization of power at every level is a bad thing. Decentralization of power at every level is almost always a great thing. And that's what the whole concept of state governments in the U.S. federal system, that the states remain sovereign, that the states have plenty of power. And, of course, that's what Obama is directly attacking. We have to decentralize power. We have to get the U.S. out of the UN for the most part, get it out of all these international banking agreements, et cetera, et cetera. Decentralization is a good thing.